morning to one and all. Today we are going to start the new topic called as human reproduction. In the human reproduction topic, today or in the few days we try to understand what are the different types of, already you know that what are the different types of reproductions. How a sexual reproduction is different from a sexual mode of reproduction, and what happens in the sexual reproduction, what is menstruation cycle, what is gametogenesis, and also you have come across how a child is born, and what is the anatomy of male reproductive system and female reproductive system. What are the different cycles that are taking place in the male reproductive system and female reproductive system? So now we will try to elaborately learn what is going to happen in the male reproductive system, anatomy of male reproductive system and anatomy of female reproductive system, as well as how the gametes are produced, how they are fused, and what happens once the fusion is completed, and once the fusion, that is zygote formation, takes place, how that will be converted into embryo, and how this embryo is converted into fetus, then into child, what is gestation period and what is pacturation. Apart from this, we will try to learn the developmental process of gestation. Now, coming on to the topic, human reproduction, you know that humans are unisexual. Uni means one, sexual means sex organs are present. Means unisexual means if one sexual organ or one reproductive organ is present in an organism, they are called as unisexual organisms. Means we are separated into male organism, female organism. Means male consists of male's reproductive organs and female consists of female sexual organs, indicated with the symbols arrow mark and plus mark. Now, unisexual, that is one sexual reproductive organ in each different organisms. Means uni means one reproductive organ in one different organism, and we are viviparous. Means young one bearing in the female body of an organism. And we are sexually reproducing organisms. That means we are produced by the gametic formation. That is, formation of gametes is called When the formation of gametes takes place in an organism, that organism is called as a sexually reproducing organism. Now, so here we try to understand what is a gamete. Gamete is called as a reproductive Gamete means a reproductive cell. A reproductive cell. So here in plants, so if you want to understand in the future what is a gamete, G stands for the gynoecium. In plants, gynoecium means female reproductive part, and in plants, androecium means male reproductive part. Mate, M-A-T-E, mate means fusion. But here in the human beings, if you come, gynec means female, study of female reproductive organs and diseases. And androecium or androecium or andric means study of male reproductive parts and their diseases is called as andric. And fusion means when a reproductive cell is formed from the male part, that is called as andric cell, andric reproductive cell, and if a reproductive cell is formed from female reproductive part, that is called as female reproductive cell. So combinedly called both together as female gamete or male gamete. So here gamete means reproductive cell, and if it is from the female reproductive origin, it is called female reproductive part or female gamete, and if it is from the male origin, it is called as male reproductive part. Male reproductive part. Now, we will try to understand the sequence by process of male and female reproductive system. That is, general process in the gametic formation to the childbirth. Now, in the step-by-step process of reproduction, in the step-by-step process of human reproduction, the first one is so the first one is called gametogenesis, the second one is called as insemination, The third one is called as fertilization. The fourth one is called implantation. The fifth one is embryonic development or gestation period. And the sixth one is maturation. What is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis is the process of production of new cell, that is new reproductive gamete or new reproductive cell in the male and female organisms respectively. So here we can see the gametogenesis as formation of gametes in the respective male or female organism is called as gametogenesis, or easily we can call as production of new gametes. Production of gametes or production of new gametes. And once the gametes are produced from the male and female, the gametes will be one gamete, that is male gamete will be transferred from the male reproductive system into the female reproductive system through penis. That is transfer of male sperm, that is male gamete into the female reproductive system through penis is called insemination process. And once the male gamete or male sperm is transferred from the male reproductive system into the female reproductive system on basis of various criteria, the sperm will move into the different parts of the female reproductive part and they will meet the non-motile ovum, that is the female reproductive gamete, in the different parts of the female reproductive system. That is generally the female reproductive ampullary ischemic cavity, and they both fuse. That is called as fertilization. Fertilization means fusion of male sperm with female ovum in the female reproductive parts is called as fertilization, and the resultant end product of fertilization is zygote. Fertilization is the process of fusion of male and female gametes to form a zygote. Once the zygote is formed, the zygotes regularly undergoes mitotic division. You have learned this mitotic division in the previous class, that is class 11 biology 10th chapter. So the zygote will undergo the mitotic division, and the zygote will convert into will divide at several stages up to 64 cell stage called as blastomeres. This blastomere later convert into blastocyst. This blastocyst will connect with the mother uterine system and it undergoes embed, or it come in contact with the mother's uterine system, and the process of the uterine cavity, the blastocyst coming in contact with the mother uterine system and embedding into the mother's uterine system is called as implantation. Implantation means embedding or inserting. After the insertion of the blastocyst, that is developed zygote into the mother uterine system by covering with the several layers, now undergoes the gestational period or embryonic development. Embryonic development, that is formation of 3 layers, germ layers, that is endoderm, ectoderm and mesoderm, and formation of the spinal cord, followed by the development of organs, followed by the complete makeup of child and movement of child and ready for birth. This all phases, that is from the implantation to the childbirth, whatever the changes occurs in the female reproductive system with embryo, along with the embryo, is called as gestation period, and this gestation period is approximately from the zygotic formation to the childbirth. It is 270 to 280 days, that is approximately 9 months 10 days. 9 months 10 days. The period between the implantation to the childbirth is called as gestation, and in this period the embryo will be developed first. Embryo later on stages will be converted into the fetus. Fetus grows into the complete developed child, and once the development is completed, by the signals from the embryo, that is fetus, that is the developed child, matured child, now the patuation reflexes occur. Patuation means expelling of the baby. This is a complex process. The expelling of baby or the patuation is a very complex process, and this complex process takes several. It is a very endocrine system along with the baby hormonal system, and the mother uterine system will respond to this. As a result of that, the baby will come out, and the reflex is called patuation reflex, and the process is called as patuation. So these are the one by one steps that are taking place in the process of human reproduction, from the small reproductive cell formation to the childbirth. Now, so when does the gametogenesis starts in the males or female organisms? How many years does it last? How many eggs will be produced by the male? How many sperms will be produced by the female? And what are the other factors we will try to know in the next part. Now, coming on to the human reproduction in the male and female generally it occurs after puberty. Puberty means becoming young or becoming mature. That is conversion of a baby voice into a hoarse or low pitched voice or high pitched voice respectively in the male and female baby to a adolescent is called as puberty, and the puberty in the males will be approximately between 11 to 13 years, and in the case of females it probably starts at 9 to 13 years. So here the maturation of the female baby approximately takes place at the age of 9 to 13 years, and in the case of females it can be from 11 to 13 years. Here this occurs because of the triggering of the hormonal changes in the body and certain changes in the organism which are known as secondary sexual characters. Secondary sexual characters. So, how many years does the male reproductive system produces the sperm after puberty, and how many years does the female reproductive system produces the ovums after puberty? In the males, so in the case of males, the sperm production takes place up to the death of the organism, but in the case of the female reproductive system after puberty, it may probably stop between the age of 50 to 55 years, and once there is a complete stoppage of the menstrual cycle, the person has undergone menopause. Menopause is a condition. Phase means stop. Menopause means menstrual cycle stoppage. So once the last menstruation cycle, after which no menstruation cycle occurs in the females, is called as menopause, but the first menstrual cycle in the females is called as menarche. Menarche means the first menstruation cycle in the females is called as menarche, and there are some very important differences between the male and female gametes, that is sperm and ovum. We'll try to understand these things. The major important gametic formations in the case of the important differences between the male and female gamete are, that is, the sperm and ovum are sperm is the male reproductive cell, ovum is the female reproductive cell. Ovum will be one ovum per month. One ovum per month. Many sperms per month. Many cycles in a month. One cycle in a month. In the males, no menstrual cycle. Many menstrual cycles can be seen from the first ovulation to the last ovulation, called as menarche and menophase. So these are the very important in concern to the sperm and ovum differences. We'll continue the class in the next part.